Simon, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Ben-Maraz. I'm extremely happy to be back in Riga to deliver these remarks on the future of DSOs. This comes from our analysis, our global analysis on the world energy transition outlook, and I'll try to give you a few insights on collaboration and innovation stemming from our work on the 1.5C scenario. Yes. For those who don't know, IRENA is an intergovernmental organization. We are a member-led organization by countries, and we have more than 168 member states in our assembly. Every year in Abu Dhabi, countries discuss the future of the energy transition. The central analysis is our world energy transition outlook. This is the net zero scenario to decarbonize the energy sector. It shows that we have much to do, and the previous presentation outlined a lot of important aspects which relate to the technologies that we need to scale up and the investment required. This is a preview of our 2023 World Energy Transition Outlook, where we foresee more than $150 trillion investment potential to achieve the net zero targets. And the solution will come with a vast array of solutions based on renewable energy. The first insight I wanted to share with you is that we see in many markets, many territories, more collaboration. Beyond the power grid, we see a lot of interest of countries to discuss how they can couple sectors, coming from the electron from the power grid, and more looking at solutions that can effectively decarbonize end-use sectors, which include the buildings, cities, and subnational territories, but also transports, electric, but also heavy-duty transport, and of course the industry. So here as well, we see a lot of insight of from our analysis that collaboration enables those discussions around increasing power trades to achieve greater integration of renewables. In many countries, we have a fixed limit of renewables, and through exchanging experiences, we see countries increasing the limit of how much variable renewables they can integrate with the use of new technology like battery storage. And of course, international discussion, such as IRENA, can enable those let's say, development in emerging markets. And of course, the main central topic is about what is the solution that maximizes the emission reduction potential. As you know, in December, the COP28 will be in Dubai, in the UAE, and IRENA will be a strong partner of the COP presidency to send a message of increased ambition in terms of how much emission country can reduce. The second aspect we see a lot of is about cross-border interconnection. A lot of things is happening in that perspective. We see the very tangible benefits: security of supply, reducing the cost for the consumer, and of course, enabling greater flexibility, using renewables combined with new innovation, of course, to enable to meet the demand when the grid needs a mode on the peak and on the on the days where there is little renewables supply. So now on the role of DSOs. First of all, DSOs are embracing innovation and adopting a global megatrend. Those include a broader electrification of all subsectors, the use of more decentralized solutions, the so-called distributed energy resources. So we are moving from a centralized system to a more decentralized system based on different renewable assets, based on the resource potential. And third megatrend is the use of digital tools to accelerate the integration of renewables in the grids. The key enablers we see are the massive adoption of energy storage technologies like electrochemical solution and pump hydro. The second one is the use of smart grid and advanced control system to improve the efficiency and the stable supply of energy. And the third is the development of new revenue streams of DSOs that can offer this needed flexibility on the energy management services, and of course, channeling this energy to the big customer who needs a lot of flexibility in their system. One also fundamental aspect is that DSO are here to stay and are a key element of the energy value chain. They are needed to integrate more renewables while balancing supply and demand to maintain a stable grid management. This is very important. The use of those solutions also make the emergence a lot of aspects around grid safety, both on the physical infrastructure, but also on the digital infrastructure. So also looking at how you can resolve and manage threats on those aspects. And of course, the adoption of innovation like the industrial internet, the so-called IoTs, artificial intelligence, and the distributed ledger can help DSOs to optimize grid management and overall provide the least cost solution and the solution that emit the less possible emission. During our many discussions with the different DSOs across the world, we see that we recognize the need for greater support to conduct this change. First, there needs to be a strong discussion between the governments and the regulatory bodies, this was mentioned before, to recognize the benefit of adopting modern energy solutions like renewables and couple them with the solution that will enable greater flexibility. In that remark, there is a lot of aspects to do with grid code innovation, because in many geographies, grid code are a bit too old to accommodate new solutions, and countries need to adopt new grid codes to embrace those new technologies. And of course, there needs to be a discussion about regulations across territories to enable DSOs to deliver those new services about ancillary services, capacity, and so on. So these all are the support needed by DSOs to embrace those new innovations. Also the one pivotal aspect is also the use of best practices. This is the work of Arena trying to disseminate those practices. The first one is that distributed energy resources, which include renewable generation, behind-the-meter batteries, smart charging electric vehicles, demand response program at the end-user side, and power-to-it solutions. All of that solution enable more resilient grids. We have been working with a lot of countries which had their grid destroyed by extreme weather events and other events, and we've seen that grids powered by renewables can be back in a matter of days. And this is fundamental to enable the resilience of the future grids. The second aspect, of course, is to deliver this flexibility. Today, flexibility can be provided by fossil fuel, but more and more in the future with renewable coupled with storage solutions. Those solutions as well can reduce those peak demands with the use of, for example, demand response program, and overall improve the important metrics about reliable supply and lower energy cost. We see in the developed world as well immensely decreasing cost of energy through the use of renewables, but also in developing countries, we see that the shift from, for example, diesel-based solution to renewables at the end deliver a lot of value for the end users at the end of the grid. And of course, I mentioned we need to view this as a holistic view, combining the discussion on the power grids, but also the solution that will overall decarbonize the entire energy sector, so coupling solution from the power industry and building sector. So my takeaway on our analysis is that we need massive collaboration. We need to exchange best practices from one region to another. We need also to enable those interconnections, to use the resources when they are. For example, to use the immense potential of Northern Europe on offshore wind and connecting this with the immense potential for solar power in the southern countries. And those will, at the end, provide greater flexibility and at the end, a lot of value for the consumer. So collaboration is fundamental. The second one is that, of course, DSOs are a strong energy value chain component, and they need to enable grid reliability. And those solutions, as I mentioned, enable the increase of reliability and guarantee a stable supply of energy there. Third, best practices. So we have a vast, let's say, knowledge of what has worked in different countries, different regions. And of course, the solution will come from distributed energy integration and the use of smart innovation. And those will enable grid, modern grid use. And third, of course, managing the immensely new flows of energy will, let's say, be a challenge that DSO can leverage to decarbonize the power sector. So that's it. We have coming up a lot of interesting analysis, the One Energy Transition Outlook, but as well we're going to publish in June the innovation landscape for end-use sectors, which include as well a discussion on the future of DSOs. Thank you very much.